Yeah, my WhatsApp doing numbers. Ay, all around the world, got my WhatsApp doing numbers.
Download now on the App Store and Google Play.
Black people, well, anybody can use the information coming from this video. Watch this.
A travel warning: if you're traveling in 2025 out of the US, you need to know 3 huge changes that are changing everything. It's a first, or you won't be able to go anywhere. Number 1, if you're trying to fly domestically in the US, your old driver's license isn't going to work after May 7th, 2025.
So obviously this is past tense. This is taking effect already. I'm only sharing this for those of you who may not be familiar with this Real ID agenda that they've been pushing. If you have it, then that's one less thing you need to worry about. But this is yet another reason that you may want to get your passport. Doesn't matter if you're doing international travel or not. This also applies to domestic travel.
You're going to need a Real ID. You apply at your local DMV and get it done now before they get slammed. Number 2, if you're planning to travel from the US to the UK, which is Northern Ireland, England, Wales, Scotland, you're going to need for the first time a travel waiver. And that means you're going to have to apply. It's $13. It lasts for 2 years. But even if you're going...
So I don't have a clip on this video, but they're doing the same thing in Mexico, and people made a big fuss about it with the southern border. Mexico is doing it. It's a big issue, but these other countries are doing it. That's perfectly fine.
For a day, you need to have the waiver. And there is another group of European countries, 30 of them, like France, Germany, Italy. They're requiring their own waiver. It's $7. It lasts 3 years. These are attached to your passport. Make sure your passport doesn't expire, because when your passport expires, these waivers expires and you have to start over.
Black people, get your affairs in order. Yes, a lot of us are holding other marginalized communities accountable for how they voted and for how they treat Black people in the Black community. While you're holding others accountable, make sure that your affairs are in order. Make sure that you have a certified copy of your birth certificate. If you have your original birth certificate, I know we don't like to walk around with our original documents. Make a copy of that birth certificate. Go to a notary public and have her certify/notarize that copy of your birth certificate.
So if you don't know what she's talking about, she's approaching this from the angle of what's going on in this country and in the United States of America as it relates to the immigration, ICE, and all of that. I wouldn't recommend going to get your birth certificate copied and carrying that with you, but she's saying from the perspective of these agencies that may be given authority to just pull you over, not to search for drugs, not to ask you where you're heading to, but just to verify that you are indeed a United States citizen. She's providing like advice on extra assurance for these agencies that may be harassing people later down the line. I don't know this young lady. As always, I'm giving that disclaimer. Just listen to the information she's putting out, not necessarily her political position.
That makes that copy a certified copy of your birth certificate. When she's notarizing that copy, make sure she includes a statement that says, I'm a notary. And on all the documents, especially if they're copies of original documents, I include a statement that says, I, Tabitha, Notary Public, certify that this is a copy of the original document that is in the possession of whoever the birth certificate belongs to. If you are not carrying around your original Social Security card, do the same for your Social Security card.
Okay, so we haven't even gotten to the passports yet. Like I said, that's up to you if you want to do that or not, or you could just go ahead and get the Real ID. I haven't gotten a Real ID, but I'm pretty sure after they reach a certain quota, they'll make it mandatory for everybody else. We've been around this block before. We've seen this in 2020 with other agendas. If you have a passport, you can use that to travel domestically. You can use that to travel internationally, obviously. I keep a copy with me of that at all times anyway. When I'm overseas, when I'm at home, I keep a Xerox copy of my passport. Nobody's ever messed with me about it, but it's just something that you can have just because you know that's a federally issued identification document. That's where we at right now. For the people that have an issue with brothers getting passports because they don't like guys traveling, pretty soon you're gonna need it just to travel domestically here. That time is here already, but you can hold it off a little while longer if you want to bite the bait on this Real ID agenda.
Make a copy of it, take it to a notary, and have her certify that copy, notarize it. If you have a passport, you can use your passport in place of that birth certificate. Reason being, in order to get that passport, you have to provide a copy, a certified copy of your birth certificate.
You gotta prove you American.
You can use your passport in place of a birth certificate. If you are using a copy of your passport, have that copy certified. I've talked about this in a few other videos since the election, and I've had people getting down in my comments telling me that I'm overreacting. I'm not overreacting. I'm preparing Black people.
I don't think she's overreacting. I understand that she's frustrated, or she's expressed maybe some resentment with the current administration. But understand, all this been going on way before. It don't matter who's in the White House. Collectively, some powers that be have been pushing for this for a long time. And now they're just kind of funneling everybody along with the real ID. But who's to say they won't get enough people with the real ID and then say, okay, we're not taking passports anymore. It's just something you can have in your defense for right now.
Last year, I did a video talking about laws that were passed in Texas, in Georgia, and in Florida. That law was basically, the essence of that law is that police officers in those states can legally stop you under suspicion that you are an illegal immigrant.
So like I said, I haven't experienced this, not in Indiana, Illinois, or Wisconsin. Let me know, maybe that's going on in the southern states. Let me know if y'all know anything about people being harassed or stopped or searched to verify that they are indeed here legally.
And in that instance, you want to make sure that you have proof that you are a citizen. So it is my suggestion, just like you carry your driver's license with you everywhere you go, you want to carry proof of citizenship now.
I want to reiterate, this is why I'm sharing this video. Now you need a passport just to travel domestically. I'm telling you this because I got family that have been at home for forever. They may not travel to other states. They may do road trips. They may not really fly like that. But now, if you haven't been keeping up with this, let's say you live in a state and there's a family emergency. There's a wedding, a funeral, or some business venture, and you have to catch a quick flight, not overseas, but from one state to another. As soon as you get to that airport, they want to see a real ID and or a passport. But if you don't have a real ID, you're not even traveling domestically without the passport.
Everywhere you go. And your proof of citizenship is a passport or birth certificate. Right. That driver's license is not proof of citizenship.
That part, I don't know why. I don't necessarily agree with it. You can't tell me, oh, this little star at the top makes it real all of a sudden, or the hologram or whatever. No, there's other reasons they're pushing this. We're gonna skip that part for now. But yeah, if you don't have a real ID, you need a passport to travel domestically now.
It is a valid
to fly domestically
ID,
now.
A valid government picture ID, but it is not proof of citizenship. In her video, she talked about needing a real ID. Everybody nationwide, adults, will need to have a real ID. And the deadline is May 7th, I think she said.
So we already there.
I didn't know what a...
So I just left the country. I just came back from DR. I didn't have any issues because I was traveling with my passport. I was curious. I was wondering, okay, who's going to ask me for a real ID? And because I had the passport, I was going overseas. It was the same as before. But imagine a person who have no interest in getting a passport. They have no interest in traveling overseas. And they have no interest in a real ID. They would have been in a situation. Because without that real ID, they would have said, well, you need a passport or something.
Real ID was. So I had to go out and look it up. So to get more information on a real ID, I suggest you go over to Google, put in your state and the term real ID, and your state's website for real ID requirements should come up. This is the Georgia Department of Driver Services, and they have information on what a real ID is and how to obtain it. Basically, A real ID is a driver's license that has a black star or a gold star, and it's in one of the corners of the driver's license, right?
Ooh, wow.
And it's for those of you in Georgia, it just confirms that this is a real ID, and it has all of these new mechanisms on the ID, barcodes, holographs and things like that. So
I want to say this about the real ID. The federal government has been pushing this for a long time on all of the citizens, and the states have been combating that, saying whether or not that's necessary and how it would impact the citizens of their particular state.
yeah, I looked at mine and it has a gold star up in one of the corners. So make sure that your driver's license is considered a real ID. Listen, Black people, the government has been attacking us for decades, for centuries, for 400 years. And the way we have been able to maneuver and make it through all of these years is because of how we share and spread information, okay? So currently, the Latino community is going through it. I just learned that Donald Trump does plan to reinstitute the Muslim ban, and there's additional information now included with that Muslim ban that's going to attack and harm the Arab community, the Muslim community here in the United States.
We're going to let the rest of the video play all the way through, but that was the main point why I'm doing this reaction. For those of y'all that have not been keeping up with these updates, you need a passport. Even if you hating on passport bros, even if you hate the idea of, I don't understand why people would have an issue with you acquiring a document that allows you to travel. But if you don't already have your passport, this is just another reason to get it. And it has nothing to do with traveling internationally at this point.
And once they're all done, we're going to be watching to see what they're going to do with the 14th Amendment, which comes after us. So make sure while all of this is going on that you have your papers. Yes, we are back in that time period. Make sure you have your papers, especially if you are in the state of Texas, Florida, and Georgia, because of that law that they put in about a year ago, giving permission to police officers to be able to stop you under suspicion that you are an illegal immigrant. Share this video so the word gets out.
So yeah, that's where we at. Like I said, if you don't already have your passport and you got whatever issue with brothers that's getting passports because of the internet, this is another reason that you may want to consider getting your passport. Or you can go with the real ID thing, but I have my questions about that. That's it for this video. Shout out to the day ones as always. If you're new to this channel, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section, and I'll holler at y'all in the next video. Peace.
Yeah, my WhatsApp doing numbers, ayy. All around the world, got my WhatsApp doing numbers.
Download now on the App Store and Google Play.